All right, let's jump right into a high stakes race happening in the crypto world. Right now, XRP has a massive lead in the global payments game, but you've got two key challengers, XLM and KTA, who are trying to close the gap. The big question is, do they even stand a chance? So, let's really get into it. When we talk about cross-border payments, a space that used to be ruled by these old school giants, who's actually leading the charge in this new digital age? It's a question that has investors, banks, and developers all watching very closely. At the heart of this whole battle, you've really got three key players. First, you have the established leader, XRP. Then there's the idealistic contender, Stellar Lumens, or XLM. And finally, a bit of a mysterious wildcard called KTA. Each one brings a totally unique strategy and a different vision for the future of finance to the table. To really get what's happening here, you have to understand the arena itself. This isn't just about crypto versus crypto. It's about a fundamental rewiring of global finance, where these new digital assets are going head-to-head with the old guard systems that have been running the show for decades. You can almost picture it, right? The legacy systems, guys like Swift, are nervously looking over their shoulders because there's this whole new generation of payment protocols stepping into the ring, and they're faster, they're cheaper, and they were born for a digital-first world. The pressure is definitely on. So let's start with the one that's way out in front, XRP. It's really important to break down exactly why it has managed to build such a commanding lead over everyone else. The best way I've heard it described is that XRP is like the LinkedIn of crypto. It's not the flashiest or the most exciting, but it's professional, it's incredibly well connected, and honestly, it's achieved a level of real-world corporate relevance that most other cryptos can only dream of. This quote just nails it. We're not talking about a small lead here. While everyone else is still figuring things out, trying to build from the ground up, Ripple, the company behind XRP, has already locked in partnerships with hundreds of financial institutions all over the world. That's a massive, massive head start. So how'd they do it? Well, it's not magic. It's a pretty powerful formula. Transactions settle in just 3 to 5 seconds, and the fees? We're talking fractions of a penny. That incredible speed and super low cost is exactly why hundreds of institutions have already jumped on board its RippleNet platform. This is the engine that's driving its dominance. But hey, a race with only one runner is pretty boring, right? So let's turn our attention to the challengers, XLM and KTA. What's their game plan? And do they really have what it takes to close this huge gap? And right here, you see two totally different approaches. On one side, you've got XLM, the idealist. Its whole mission is about banking the unbanked. And on the other side, there's KTA, the wild card. It's a newer project focused on some cool privacy features, but it's got everything left to prove. Man, this quote just perfectly captures Stellar's dilemma. Its focus on financial inclusion is awesome, super admirable, and the tech is solid. But that noble vision, it just hasn't translated into the kind of aggressive commercial adoption you need to really compete at the top tier. And then you've got KTA. While XRP is literally in boardrooms cutting deals, KTA's potential is still mostly theoretical. All the buzz is happening in community forums and on Discord. It's stuck in that critical phase where it has to make the leap from being just a great idea to a validated institution-ready solution. Okay, so what does this all mean for you if you're looking at this from an investment angle? Let's break this race down into some distinct personalities and risk profiles for each of these assets. This table lays it out perfectly. With XRP, the seasoned CEO, you're betting on stability and proven real-world use. With XLM, the idealistic founder, you're investing in a powerful vision that's still searching for that big break. And KTA, the brilliant intern, well, that's your pure high-risk, high-reward bet on raw, unproven potential that could be amazing or could fizzle out. Now, even with XRP's huge lead, you have to ask, is this thing really over? What would it actually take for an underdog like XLM or KTA to close the distance and make this a real fight? Look, realistically, the path to victory is, well, it's incredibly steep. It's not just about having slightly better tech. It would require a perfect storm of game-changing innovation, massive user adoption, a friendly regulatory environment, and, let's be honest, a pretty big dose of good old-fashioned luck. Which brings us right back to the million-dollar question on everyone's mind. With XRP's institutional moat and its massive head start, can anyone else realistically win this global payments race? And this, right here, is probably the most important thing to remember. In a space as wild and volatile as crypto, no lead is ever completely safe. The history of this market is filled with giants who got complacent and fell. So while XRP is the king today, the only guarantee in this race is that there are always more laps to run.